Okay, so lastly is the day 13 nights charge. One factoring problem in number 2, completely simplify, so square, double square, distribute, simplify. Then number 3 would be completing the square. Okay, so this first one, check for a common factor. There's no common factor between 15(7) and -2. So multiply together 15 and -2, get -30 and +7. Okay, and then again, think of what numbers multiply to give you that. So you can check like 1, -30, 2, -15, 3, -10. And so when you add these all together, it's -29, -13, -7. Well, -7 is very close to +7. So again, change this sign, and that'll change that. So it's going to be a -3 and a +10. So you have x minus 3, x plus 10, okay, and then divide by your leading term, 15. So divided by 15 and divided by 15. Now, neither one of these perfectly divides. So think about the common factor that goes into the top and bottom, or divide it in your calculator and then hit math and then fraction. Okay, so the first one, top and bottom, both divide by 3. That's going to give you x minus 3 divided by 3 is 1. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Okay, and then this will slide up front, and so you'll have 5x minus 1 as your final answer. Okay, your second one, top and bottom, divides by 5. So x plus 10 divided by 5 is 2. 15 divided by 5 is 3. And then slide that 3 up in front. So 3x plus 2. And then you're done. Okay, this one, you can do square, double square, or you could do box, or you could do FOIL. It would be x minus 3, x minus 3. Okay, and then fill that in, x squared minus 3x plus 9. Okay, and then you would be combining this one and this one to give you x squared minus 6x plus 9, and then plus 12. Okay, that's one way. Or had you done square, double square, you would have gotten the same thing. X squared, 3 squared, so x squared plus 9, and then -3 times x minus 3x times 2 is -6x. Okay, and so on, so that would give you 2x squared minus 12x plus 18 plus 12, or 2x squared minus 12x, so combine those last two terms together, plus 30, and you would be done. Okay, now your last one, completing the square. You need to first check to make sure it's a 1x squared. If not, then you have to divide by that leading term. Okay, next, get rid of your constant by doing subtraction. Okay, so you're going to have x squared plus 18x, okay, plus a blank equals -20 plus a blank. And that blank is going to get filled in by completing the square. So that means we need to make this into a perfect trinomial square. Okay, so in order to do that, on your next line, it's going to be x, and then take half of this term. So half of positive 18 is 9, and then squared. So what would we get if we did this squared? Well, we know that leads to square, double square. Okay, so the first term would have to be x squared, which we have. The last term has to be 9 squared, which is 81 on both sides. Okay, so on the right side, -20 plus 81 is a positive 61. Now let's say this had said solve by completing the square. Next step you would have to do is take the square root of both sides. Square root here and here. When you take the square root of both sides, you have to put a plus and minus on the right hand side. And so we'll have x plus 9 equals plus or minus the square root of 61. Well, we're not quite solved because we don't have x equals. So subtract your 9 away from both sides, and you'll have x equals, that cancels out, -9 plus or minus the square root of 61. As soon as you have that, you're done.